The movement of electrons is called current. Who knows what it's measured in? Not ohms, that's resistance. We come to that soon. Amps, yeah. So the official word is amperes, which we usually just call amps. And the symbol is just capital A. So 1 amp is equal to 1 coulomb per second. So if you have it's very loud, if you have 1 coulomb per second going past the point that you're taking your measurement, you have a flow of 1 amp. Okay, so 1 coulomb per second is, just to put that in perspective, 6 times 10 to the power of 18 electrons per second to get to that 1 coulomb. So a lot of electrons whizzing around every time you turn your things on. So if you imagine a system, we have a battery that's got a negative side and a positive side, and then a circuit with something, so it's a light bulb, but you'll talk more about that next week. We know that because electrons are negatively charged, they're going to want to move away from the negative end and towards the positive end. So they're repelled from this end and attracted to that end. Okay, so current flows from negative to positive. When they first started dealing with electricity, they didn't really know about atoms and electrons, and they didn't really know a lot about what they were dealing with. So they thought that current was the flow of positive charges. So the traditional thinking is that current goes the other way, is the movement of the positive charge. Okay? So a lot of things, in the end, it doesn't matter too much because the same amount of things change place, whether you think they're going left or right, doesn't make much difference. But this is called conventional current. It's what people often talk about. Okay, so the flow of the positive charge is called conventional current. We know that in reality what's happening is that the negative charges are zooming around. You'll still hear a lot of people talking about conventional current, and it doesn't make much difference for calculations and things because the same amount of charge ends up being displaced. So this is conventional current, which is the flow of positive charge. And this is what we call electron flow. Okay. Which is the flow of the electrons, which is going from negative to positive. So in your exam, there'll probably be a question about what's the difference between conventional current and electron flow, or something along those lines. So the difference is that one moves from negative to positive, and one moves from positive to negative. Okay, so current is literally a measure of how many electrons are moving around your circuit or down your wire or through your resistor, whatever. Okay, measured in amps. And you need a whole heck of electrons before you get up to even 1 amp. Okay. How easily current passes through a thing is determined by the properties of that thing and something called its resistance. So things that are very easy for electrons to move through, the current can move through easily have a low resistance, and things that are hard for electrons to move through, so like plastics, have a high resistance. Okay, so we'll talk about resistance next.